Now, manufacturing companies are being urged to up their game and mount an export drive after figures show the region ranks only 5th out of 9 English regions when it comes to trade overseas.
The news comes amid a growing debate on UK membership of the European Union, and Europe is currently the top destination for exports from the West Midlands. Ben Godfrey reports.
Concept steels are plumbing the depths of the ocean to boost profits. The Wolverhampton firm makes steel components for deep-sea oil wells. 90% of its business is exported, and it's enabled them to double the workforce.
We wouldn't have a business if we didn't export. We expect to do about £9 million plus this year, and we've grown from 10 people to 25 people, and we're on an active recruitment programme at the moment.
On the plus side, the value of exports by West Midlands firms rose by 6% last year, but business leaders say they should do better. Companies in our region sold £21.4 billion of goods overseas. However, that was still some way below the Northwest, which made £25.2 billion, actually with fewer companies.
We're going to see that number of 20 billion doubling over the next 10 years. Yes, absolutely.
What about in the next?
6 months ago, the regional head of UKTI, a government quango, predicted a doubling of exports by 2020. And now?
If we're going to do that, we're going to have to see year-on-year growth of 10, 12, 13% in terms of our export growth. Now, that's a big ask, and especially when you've got some of our more familiar markets like Europe that's struggling at this time.
So what about the EU, the destination for 40% of our exports? Despite choppy political waters, companies don't want to be cut adrift.
There are lots of people like us scattered all over Europe, for example in Romania, who make lots and lots of subsea equipment, believe it or not. So we have clients in Romania that deliver equipment to Malaysia, but we're still exporting to Romania and they're on to Malaysia.
While there are signs bigger companies like JCB are increasing exports, the West Midlands has some way to go to compete with its neighbours at home. Ben Godfrey, BBC Midlands Today, Wolverhampton.
Joining us now is Conservative MP for Stratford-on-Avon, Nadeem Zahawi, who's also a member of the Business, Innovation and Skills Select Committee. Good evening.
Good evening.
Why is our region 5th out of the English regions for exports? Very disappointing.
Well, I'd like our region to be first, not 5th. If you look at our share of the Regional Growth Fund, we are 4th with about 255 million. 1.6 million of that very recently to Aston Martin to bring the Rapide R back to Gaydon and Coventry.
Yes,
which
but
is
5th and 4th isn't good enough, is it?
By the way, that safeguards about 70 jobs and adds another 20 jobs. You're right, we have big ambitions. We want by 2020 to be exporting about £1 trillion. We want 100,000 more firms.
How do we achieve that?
We achieve it, I think, by funding UKTI, and the autumn statement, the Chancellor announced £140 million more funding for UKTI. UKTI's different initiatives, the UK Finance Initiative, 1.5 billion to finance firms that want to buy from British firms. That's good. The UK Export Passport Scheme, which UKTI helps firms to see where they're ready to export, help with going to exhibitions of £1,000 to £1,800 for 6 exhibitions overseas.
All of which is
help
very
with
helpful.
Research
Sorry
as well.
to interrupt. All of which is very helpful, but we know that confidence is vital. Any uncertainty about Britain's future within the EU is damaging confidence, and your government is responsible for that.
Well, first of all, inward investment to this country, by the way, has safeguarded about 112,000 jobs. A lot of those inward investment decisions are made by companies looking at corporation tax rates, and we have one of the lowest corporation tax rates in the G20 at 20%. Europe, you're absolutely right, is important, but actually in manufactured goods, we export more to the world outside of Europe. We've doubled those exports in recent years.
Okay.
Europe is important, but what we've got to do is back the Prime Minister, which is basically to renegotiate and then trust the British people with a referendum by 2017.
Nadeem Zahawi, thank you.